Hello, everybody, and welcome to another week of the Sports Card Advantage podcast. I am Jeff. That is Bunk. What's going on, Bunk?
What's up, Jeff? How we doing?
We're doing all right. I am recovering from 2 hours of dental work, finally able to feel my face again. So, we're getting a little bit of a late recording going on here. Another week past your bedtime, but we'll try to make it snappy for you.
Way to be a soldier and record tonight.
Yes, I am playing hurt, but like Michael Jordan in the flu game, you know, Jeff in the dental work. It's same sentence. So we'll power
Right.
through. What
What we got?
what's going on in your world?
Not a darn thing. Just plow some coffee, and here I am. Let's
Oh,
go.
one
Get me
day
fired up.
one day why don't you come to me with something exciting here, guy? One day.
Something exciting. What do you want to know?
I don't know.
I got into HGA. Another 3 submissions to HGA today. That was pretty much the highlight of my day.
Fantastic. Well, we are going to talk a little HGA a little bit. We got a new
No
segment
problem.
for this week. Going to be a sick card of the, I guess we'll say of the week, but I don't think we're going to do it every week. We'll probably switch back and forth from last week's Slab Wars and this week's, sick card of the month, week, whatever it's going to be. But, we'll try to keep it interesting and, cover some new content here and there. But we'll kick off. We have the National coming up in a week and change. I will be in attendance. This is my first card show ever, and also first National ever.
Go
So,
big.
so we're gonna go big. So let's talk. We're gonna talk buying. We're gonna talk selling. We're gonna talk trading. I think all those are gonna be going on. So we'll talk a few tips for each one, and so let's just start with buying. So people, sports card market has obviously gotten killed for the most part, especially on the base side. So people definitely going to be looking for deals at National. So, why don't we talk about what you should be looking at for deals and or basically how to try to get a deal at a card show, not necessarily National, but obviously that's what we're talking about. So walk us through some of that.
I think the best way to get a deal is know or have goals, know what you're looking for before you even walk into the place. That way, as you're bouncing around from tables, if it's already a short list of things that you know you're after and you know you're looking for, you're going to be very familiar with the comps and those things. Because you got to be able to act quickly. If there is a good deal on something and you got to walk away to check it on your phone or think about it and come back later, it's going to be gone. So I would say if you know you have a good idea, a couple things you're looking for, and you see it, you should already know what you're willing to pay for it and scoop it up.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, unless the deal is too good to be true, especially at the beginning of the show, remember that there's going to be 500 tables or something insane. So don't feel like you have to buy the first 5 minutes in the door either. But if you're looking for a card that comps out at $250 and somebody's going to give it to you for 200, yeah, jump on it. 100% jump on it. The other thing too is don't be afraid to negotiate, but it's also going to depend on when in the show that you're trying to negotiate. 5 minutes into the show, more than likely these guys at the tables aren't really looking to negotiate. At least, I mean, from
And if you're looking to grab 5 or 6 pieces from them, they'll listen to you.
yeah, if you're looking to grab multiple pieces, you definitely have a little bit of an advantage there to try to negotiate. And then the later it gets into the show, you probably also have a better chance of trying to talk somebody down on a price, on a card that they may not have sold.
Yeah, and it depends. The tables that are loaded up. I mean, this is the Nationals. It's gonna be loaded with high end stuff. So the people can they're gonna have a case of 2086 Jordan sitting there. You're not getting a Sunday afternoon deal on an 86 Jordan. But
Yeah, obviously, anything that's going to be low pop, that they can sell easily, that kind of stuff. But I would have to imagine this should be ripe with deals for stuff that, you know, less than $1,000. Stuff that costs $200-300, you usually should be able to get 10 to 20% potentially below comp, on some of that, especially if you buy 4 or 5 cards at a time.
Well, I think so. Listen, these guys and gals are showing up to move stuff. They're not showing up just to show it to you. So
Guys and gals, he says. No offense to the maybe 1 or 2 ladies that listen to the show. Gotta figure most of the people running the tables there are dudes.
Oh, well, I'll have you count for me then.
I will. I'll give you an over-under at 5. Set the line. Over-under 5.
It'll be over than that. 100%. It'll be over.
Including trade show models that may be in attendance?
No, not including trade show models.
All right. I'll set the over-under at 5 for that line. So yeah, and don't. The other thing too is don't be intimidated. We're going to talk about this a little bit. Don't be intimidated by the dealers. Think that they know more than you or anything else. Know the websites that you can pull up comps, and don't be afraid to pull those up and stick to your guns. These guys, this is what they do for a living. They travel the country. They do shows. So, they're going to have a routine down as far as how to get the most money out of you. Or on the flip side of that, if you're trading, they're going to try and talk you into trade value versus buying value and all that. And, I just don't want to see people get scammed, as much as the hobby, quote unquote, and everybody's kumbaya. These guys this is their livelihood. And, so you got to remember that it's your money or their money.
Yeah. I mean, the best tip I can give you for trading is if you want something good, you got to give up something good. You're never going to get anywhere if you're bringing garbage to the table.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to make sure that people get value for value, so don't trade a $50 card for a $100 card if you're the one getting the $50 card. And unless you think that there is some sort of hidden value in whatever you're getting, but try to get some cash back too to even it out on the surface. Because, that's the other thing, I've seen in some of the videos on YouTube is people getting taken. They'll take one big piece for a bunch of little pieces, but those little pieces add up to 30 or 40% more than the big piece.
Yeah, trading up, trading down. It's all your preference.
Yeah, I just like value for value. If I can sell that stuff online, unless I value my time that much, if I can sell it online and make an extra 30%, put it in my pocket, I'd rather do that than trading up, trading down, so to speak.
Right, but that's what I mean. In that scenario, you've traded down. You've traded one big piece for a bunch of little pieces, but you think you're going to get more than the one big piece got. But you have to invest the time in getting rid of them now.
Yeah, absolutely. And so don't trade just to trade. It's kind of like fantasy sports. Don't trade because you just wanted something to do. Make sure you got your values all in line and know what your own collection is worth. And
know what you're getting. Go in there to get. Like, I know right now, if I was going to the National with you, there's one card I'm looking for.
Adam Dunn?
No, not Adam.
Special shout out to, for those of you that are listening to this and not watching us on YouTube, Bunk has decided to go with a new background for the first time in 18 episodes, and now we have Adam Dunn in the background.
World Baseball Classic Adam Dunn. Little USA jersey.
Excuse me, and he's got his matching sweatshirt on to go with it.
World Baseball Classic baseball sweatshirt. That's correct.
Anyway, what card are you looking for?
I had that jersey, too. And I left it in a hotel room after a fantasy baseball draft once.
You didn't want to spend the $7 to buy a new one?
No, it was authentic. It was nice.
Yeah. So $12?
Ugh. Still mad about that. But anyway, yeah. If I was going to the National right now, I'd show up. There's one card I want, and I know how much it goes for. So I'd have to come big with pieces if I was going to try to trade or do a trade and cash transaction.
And what card is that, pray tell?
Nah, it's a Pujols parallel from a set I collected 20 years ago.
Fair enough. Is that the one?
It's his Topps traded retrofractor. It's the last card I need for the set.
Well, for anybody that may have...
Unfortunately, I waited till it was $3,000 to go after it.
Well, for anybody that may have a line on that card, info@sportscardadvantage.com. Feel free to send us an email. See what Bunk can
Yeah,
put
I've
together
got
for
some cheaters for you.
some pieces to trade. But yeah, as you said, you go in there. You're either going in there as a collector, and you have your PC and you know what you want and have a list of stuff and what you're willing to pay for it, or you're going there as a flipper, and then it becomes a negotiation, and that's a whole different story.
Yeah, you think a lot of people are just going there to unload their shit to dealers?
I think there's a lot of people
I hadn't thought about that.
going there to see the show. I mean, your Gary V's and your Steve Aoki's and some of these big name guys have already said they will be there. They will be doing stuff at National. Some of the bigger podcasts, the guys, Sports Card Nonsense, have said that they're doing a live show during the podcast. I think there are certain people going just for the show and just going to walk around and potentially buy some stuff, and just go for the experience. I mean, that's basically why I'm going to, network a little bit. I'll probably buy a few $1,000s worth of cards, potentially for the other project we're working on. But I'm going there for the entertainment. Just look around, meet some people, see the cards, see what's on display, hopefully get some good content that we can talk about. But I'm not going there to dump a bunch of cards to dealers for below comp. I mean, I got to imagine these guys are not going to be paying comps.
No, that's what I mean. They're just gonna take. It's like going to a pawn shop.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the third part of this is talking about selling cards at National. I don't see the point of that.
No. If you're bringing cards to National, you're including them with cash to get something else. There's no way that you should be showing up at National selling stuff unless it's just ultra high end that people are gonna pay what it's worth for.
Yeah, if
you're not bringing $200 cards to National and getting anywhere near $200.
Yeah, if you have rare cards that are you can't find on eBay, yeah, you can bring those to National and expect to get comps for that because guys are going to pay for that stuff that they can't find, that they can then turn around and sell at a premium. But as you said, if you have $500 cards, you're going to get 20% easily, 20-30% below comps, and dealers will tell you that. I mean, I've definitely seen a whole bunch of card show stuff on YouTube. They will literally say, "I will not pay comps." So it's like at that point, other than the convenience.
Oh yeah, you spend any time in a hobby shop? People come in all the time. I'd be there for an hour picking through binders, and 9 people have walked in with crap they're trying to get rid of. The guy's just like, "Yeah, I'll give you $10." It's crazy.
Unless you're trying to save yourself the convenience, because you don't want to list it or take the 10 minutes that it takes to send to COMC or whatever it is, then yeah, you're gonna get below comps. So I mean, I think that just to reiterate, just don't get bullied by the dealers, and don't
be afraid to walk away if it doesn't feel good or you're not comfortable. Walk away. Yep. It's over. Trade or buying.
Absolutely, and have your comp sites ready. 2 that we recommend. One is ours, 130-point sales, and then sportscardcomps.com. That actually is our website. We run it. So make sure you have one of those 2 ready to look up, and ideally, if you're looking to get accurate comps, then I would look at auctions and not necessarily, potentially some errant buy it nows or best offers, which, may not reflect actual value. So, take all that stuff in mind before you head off to the shows. And, if you're at National, have a good time. It should be a lot of fun. Seems like there's going to be a bunch of stuff going on. There's a bunch of breaks going on and other types of events they're going to be doing throughout the show.
You should do some live streams, guy.
I might try to do a little Instagram live, and dude, there's going to be fucking tons of creators there that all have their camera guys and doing all their videos for National. It's going to be crazy. It's going to look like a freaking celebrity convention, but a bunch of dudes with their camera guys.
I'd have a field day.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. Granted, I would love to have a few thousand subscribers on YouTube and walk around with a camera guy and make ourselves look important, but we're not there yet. Maybe next year.
Yeah, no thanks.
Just wait, my friend. We'll get there at some point. All right, so let's move on to the investment section of today's podcast. We got another couple things we want to talk about. Today's a little interesting. We're going to be talking baseball, but the interesting part about today for our baseball is we're going to be talking pitchers.
Pitchers.
So before we start, why don't you walk the fine folks through I guess what's the word I'm looking for here? Just basically that the hobby doesn't favor pitchers. So
no, pitchers suck. Pitchers suck.
I've seen recommend pitchers. You say pitchers suck. So walk us through what the stigma is and why we're talking about it.
No, I did a big joke in all these breaks, and in fact, I just saw 5 Twitter pictures of people opening their Stadium Club boxes, and I saw 5 different boxes get 2 relief pitcher autos per box. The product's just loaded with a lot of these products are just loaded with pitchers and relief pitchers, and they're not worth any money. They sell for a couple bucks each. You're spending hundreds of dollars on a box, and you're getting a $3 pitcher autograph, and that's after the first month's over, is gonna be worth nothing. So people don't like pitchers. Pitchers get hurt. Pitchers blow their arms out. All the highly touted pitchers. If you invested in Mark Pryor, or even a guy like Phil Hughes. Phil Hughes, he was a Yankee, so he's getting hyped up the wazoo. They just don't pan out to have these mega careers, and it's not for me. It's not worth collecting or buying. If I collect a pitcher, I'm just going trades, low end, just because I like a guy.
So that would more be on the young side of the pitchers, not necessarily guys that
which
have
leads
had...
us to this segment, which is if I'm going after pitchers, I'm looking for buys of Hall of Famers, slam dunk guys.
Yeah, okay. Just wanted to clarify that so that before we bash pitchers, then recommend pitchers, that we clarify why we're talking about that.
No young pitchers.
Yeah, I definitely remember the days of Mark Pryor and Kerry Wood, and you're just like...
Kerry Wood, too. Jesus, yeah.
Yeah, both those guys. I mean, the Cubs guys, and they were the second coming of Jesus on the mound, and had a couple flashes of brilliance here and there, but definitely just a freaking fart in the wind right now as far as anybody ever hearing of them.
There was even stories coming on Mark Pryor at like these kinesiology labs at USC that he's like the most perfect mechanics and he's not going to get hurt. Blah blah blah. Okay.
Well, obviously he didn't.
No thanks.
I think he had 5 or 6 seasons in the bigs, and that's it.
The only good news is next year it sounds like we're getting the universal DH, so we don't have to watch pitchers hit anymore. So they'll also get hurt less in the National League, so that's good.
Are we gonna nerd out on baseball?
Sorry, people care.
Nobody cares about the universal DH.
Everyone does. I actually watch baseball.
Oh, God. It's the most boring thing to watch on television ever.
Oh, God almighty.
Anyway, let's talk Justin Verlander. For those of you who don't know who Justin Verlander is, he is otherwise known as Kate Upton's boyfriend. And Upton, another personal favorite of a Bunk, other than Adam Dunn.
She's up there.
Yep. All right. So here we go. 2005 tops. Justin Verlander. Population 934. Current value, current price about $338 as far as last sale according to Card Ladder. So we're gonna take a little bit of a different approach here this week as far as our investments. Verlander is currently hurt. He has Tommy John. He is not playing this season. But we want to put him on the radar, start looking at his auctions as we come into the charts. As I said, we're at 338 right now. Prices that we want to target, probably somewhere in the 2 to 250 range. As the season goes on, his prices have been continuously coming down, and you'll see the same patterns in other cards. Will it be a little bit of a buying range when it hits a certain point off a high? But more than likely, since he's not playing this year, you'll see that continue to come down. So we want to try to get that for maybe $50 to $70 cheaper than it is now. BGS correspondent, what do we got?
Well, there's only 2 10s, so I have no data for you. No black labels either. But the 9.5, there's only 83 of them. Only 83 9.5s, and the last two at auction went 180 and 200. So for me, my money, granted, I love BGS.
Yeah.
But if I can find myself a Verlander quad 9.5 or 9.5 with a couple 10 subs in it, and I can get it for under $200, I'm gonna hop now, personally.
Okay. So you're not even gonna wait to see if it comes down anymore.
Nah, because I like that it's down enough that he's the first ballot Hall of Famer. The card's gonna be well worth the investment, and a card like this for me, I'm buying to hold it for a long time, so I'm not too worried about the floor on it. But I agree on that PSA 10. I think there's a lot more room to come down.
I mean, and on the low pops, first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, current highs, recent highs, about $600. But you got to figure long term if you're looking to hold this. If you can get it at 200 on the BGS 9.5 or 300 ish, 250 to 300 on the PSA, you should be looking at 4x your money at some point.
And remember, one day the BGS 9.5 is going to be worth more than the PSA 10. So you got to factor that in there.
Which day are you referring to that is ever going to come?
It's happening.
Yeah,
I'll just let you know that.
We understand that you ride for BGS and you ride for BGS hard, but I think it's going to be a long day before a lot of days before we see BGS 9.5 outrank PSA 10.
One day, maybe episode 972. But I'll tell somebody I told you so.
I'll knock on some wood that we get that far. So yeah, to summarize on Verlander here, PSA 10. Keep your eyes open on it. You want to look at it somewhere in the 250 range if you get it for less if it continues to fall. BGS 9.5, you can find quad 9s or better and get it for around 200. Hop on it. Or if you want to wait and see if you can get it for a little bit less, by all means.
And bottom line, the point here is keep an eye on it because I think it's to your point, it's gonna keep going down. All these ones we just mentioned. So
yeah, and before I make an idiot of myself again and not know the standings, is Detroit in any kind of contention this year?
No.
And is he on Detroit anymore? No. He's in Houston?
Yes.
Okay, and are they in any kind of contention right now?
Yes.
Okay.
But he's not pitching this year.
Gotcha.
And he's already teasing that he might go back to the Tigers.
Oh, okay. Well,
so I don't know if that was just for PR, but he's already rumored to maybe want to have a reunion with the Tigers.
Interesting. Well, he's 37, right?
39, I think.
39.
37? Yeah, maybe he's 37. He's old.
I believe you said he's going to be the 10th pitcher.
Oh, yeah. So he's only going to be the 10th pitcher that's going to attempt to come back from Tommy John older than 37.
Okay. Well, I mean,
we'll see what happens.
Hold on to, hold for another month or two and then start looking at auctions. There should be some good value with great upside on this.
Absolutely.
We will keep the pitcher chatter going and talk about 2008 Topps update and highlights. Clayton Kershaw. We're actually going to be looking at the PSA 9 on this. Current pop is 1,022. Current price 286. So same situation as Verlander. It's definitely dipped off its high of 535 to high 280s. He is also hurt, but he will be back this season. But if this continues to dip, you should see this probably settle around 200. And also Kershaw more than likely first ballot Hall of Famer. Still has more years in his career than Verlander, but if you can get his rookie card with a low pop, even at a PSA 9 at $200, definitely something that you snap up.
And this is almost identical to Verlander's card. Kershaw's BGS 9, a little higher pop than Verlander's. We got it at 250. but it's also last one went 200 at auction. This is the 9. The 9.5s are actually off the charts. 9.5s are actually like 480, 380, 370. Those are all at auction
Yeah,
on
but
the 9.5.
that's half the price. That's less than half the price of the 10. The 10's going for almost $1,000 right now. PSA 10.
Right. So again, me for my money, if I can get a quad 9.5, or like I said, with a couple 10 subs for under 4, I'm all over that.
Yeah, and this would be a shorter term wait before you're hopping in, see where this goes over the next couple of weeks. There seems to be enough sales volume that you should probably see another 5 or 10 sales over the next couple of weeks. I don't know if any BGSs have come on the market, but keep your eyes open over the next month. And if you can get the PSA 9 for less than 250 or the BGS 9.5 for less than 4, that's definitely something that we're thinking is a good idea.
Love it.
And last but not least, we're going to talk a little football. I want to talk a little, basically, boomer bust 2020 Jalen Hurts. So we'll look at his Prism PSA 10. Right now, population is 259. Last sale was 215, but the previous few were right around that 200 mark. So if you can pick this up for $200, it's off the high back in February, 525. Camps are opening. We'll start to see some highlights. We'll start to see, what people got. Eagles got some new weapons. I think you're looking at boom or bust. If Hurts comes in and plays good football and gets the Eagles wins, he gets, starts getting into the conversation of last year's class of Burrow and Tua and Herbert, and all those guys, especially Herbert and Burrow, have their PSA 10s in the $600-700 range. So there is a big boom opportunity. And then also with the flip side of that, the bust, if he comes in and he sucks, or Philadelphia goes out and gets Deshaun Watson, which has also been rumored, he's gonna lay an egg, and his Prisms will be somewhere in the Drew Lock range at $70.
Well, wouldn't Hurts go to Texans in that deal?
It might as well be the same thing.
Yes.
The Texans are god awful. Can you name me one Texans wide receiver right now?
Is Kiki Kute still there?
I don't know if Kiki Kuti is still on the Texans, but I would have
Kenny
to.
Stills?
No, didn't Stills go to the Dolphins? Or no, or retired or something?
He's not good. I don't know.
Well, now we gotta look.
Oh boy.
Now we gotta look. Yeah, as I Google Houston Texans, the first article that comes up, the Texans will have the NFL's worst skill position group. And this is a waste of time, so sorry people, but I'm looking anyway.
You got to know where Kenny Stills is.
I gotta know. Brandon Cooks, Randall Cobb, geez Louise, Kiki Kuti, still in a Texans uniform.
1 for 2.
And so this is basically the land where wide receivers go to die, with Cooks and Cobb. So who knows? So with that being said, I like Jalen Hurts at the 215 level. The other thing I've been looking at after we had our gem rate conversation last week is Prism Raw. I've been really trying to just get in and if I can find something that looks like it has sharp corners on eBay and the centering looks good, I'll take a shot at it. That I can buy it, and then right now obviously I'm not sending it to PSA, but I'll send it to SGC or HDA and try to get a 9.5 or 10. But here's the part that will piss you off and pisses me off. I'm looking at the Jalen Hurts PSA 10 card on Card Ladder, and I can see with my naked eye that this thing is not centered.
Oh, on the PSA 10?
Yeah.
Well, of course, because they give 10s out like candy.
Not to fuel the fire, but I mean, there's so many 10s that I've seen that I can see with my naked eye that the card, is fat to one side. And it's not a lot, but you can definitely notice it. And, my question that I guess I would have if I ever had a chance to ask somebody at PSA, what's the leeway? What is the leeway as far as,
Yeah, they'll tell you it's percentages like 55, 45, or 46. There's a cutoff for, but and with that being said, are you telling me the corners, edges, and surface are all 10s, and they gave the centering a 9, and they still threw a 10 on the slab? I mean, if that is that what they're doing?
it's potentially possible, but I mean, there's a ton of PSA 10s that I've seen recently that it's just like now that I'm looking for it, I can easily see that it's not centered. And
Right, you see that all the time in cards. I mean,
well, I mean
with
that
PSA.
that
Now, listen, every company you got examples, but
yeah, of
PSA's got
course.
a shit ton.
Well, I mean, PSA obviously has the most cards that are graded out there right now, and but also to help to know what the leeway
And the most
is.
graded a 10.
Yes, and the most graded a 10. The
I know
horse is
I'm annoying as fuck, but I
the
can't stand it.
the horse is dead, guy. You can stop kicking it.
It is not dead. It'll never be dead.
um,
Stop handing out 10s.
but if we could get what the leeway is, obviously with the computer tools being the way that they are, I can download that photo off of eBay and drop it into Photoshop or one of these other tools and say, okay, it falls within the leeway of what will gem the centering, and then that gives me a little bit more confidence in buying raw on eBay.
Right, exactly. I'm telling you, there's people that's exactly what they'll do. We talked to you last week about buying and cracking open and crossing over, right? How many people do you think are only buying, like, say, 9.5s that have the centering off of it?
Yeah.
So the card's got maybe a couple 10s, a couple 9.5s, but the centering is an 8.5 or a 9 or something like that. But it might get a little bump at PSA, and all of a sudden that card's a 10 now because no half grades.
Yeah, and the 10s are worth more. So
Yeah.
we're gonna get off this horse and move on. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that I've been looking at more. So also with Jalen Hurts is a possibility if you want to take that shot. Look at his silvers, his Prism silvers or his Prism silver auto raws. Are definitely also affordable. And if you can find one that has good corners and decent centering, those should be 9.5s at the minimum at HGA or SGC, and hold some value for you.
I'd give you BGS data, but there's literally nobody submitting Hertz's to Beckett.
Well, and I'm sure everybody that submitted Hertz base was before PSA shut down and before they raised their prices. I mean, nobody would take. I mean, that's going to be the thing. Like Justin Fields, Trey Lance base cards this year. Anybody submitting those to PSA for $200? Probably not. I mean,
nope.
There may be one or two. It's like, hey, I got the only one, and that may be worth some money, but you gotta definitely strap on a pair of balls to roll the dice on $200 and pray that it comes back at 10.
No, not a single base card is getting submitted for $200. Let's be honest. Nobody's submitting a base card. Not even a. Are you going to submit a Zach Wilson base card?
There will be people that will submit Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson base cards. T-Law base cards are going to be sent off. They're LaMelo base cards.
I could see Lawrence because he's number one overall, but yeah. I don't see Zach Wilson base cards getting shipped off.
I mean, what's a
$200?
What's a Burrow Prism PSA 10 going for right now?
Well, I'd be impressed. You said earlier $600 to $700, so if that's exactly what it is.
I'm almost positive. $475, but they peaked at $800 back in April. And
man, those things are almost half price.
And then again in February they were $700. So right now they bottomed out at $375, back up, and climbing. And you have to figure once he's healthy at camp, that thing's going to go for $500 all day and then some during the season, especially if he's playing well.
But at least we've seen a little Joe Burrow. We kind of know what we're getting a little bit with Joe Burrow. Zach Wilson, he's still a jet.
Well, that's the point I'm trying to make, though, is that Lawrence is in that Burrow, yeah, Justin Herbert prism. Those are going for $6 billion, and those peaked at over 1,000. So Trevor Lawrence throws a few bombs to DJ Chark. People are submitting Trevor Lawrence base, and if the Jets look anything decent, people are submitting Zach Wilson base.
They're not. They're not going to win 6 games.
I'll take the over on that.
Oh yeah. All right, deal.
I'll parlay that with the over on 6
So we'll
wins
call
for the
it
Jets.
6.5.
We'll parlay it, yeah, 6.5. I'll parlay the over with the Jets at 6.5, and the under on 5 female dealers at the national.
All right, guy.
So yeah,
home a pack of tops.
I definitely think you'll see Lawrence and Wilson get submitted on base. Everybody else, I doubt it, until they can prove it on the field.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll keep it moving. We got a quick segment, new segment, sick card of the week, or the month, or whatever it's going to wind up being. This basically, I follow a whole bunch of stuff on Instagram, and all these guys that break cases and cases of stuff pull some amazing cards. So we want to share some stuff. Obviously, for those of you that are listening, we'll make it quick. So just some fun cards and some cool cards that got pulled this week. Right now we're looking at 2020 Flawless Dual Auto Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, number 25 out of 25. Shout out to Platinum Card Breaks, who pulled this. It is college uniforms, but it is a ridiculous card. Both of these guys were fantastic in college. Jefferson played ahead of his mind last year. We'll see what Burrow comes back and does, but in another few years, both these guys are at the top of their game. I mean, Jefferson could be a top 3 wide receiver this year. So should be worth some bucks. The other one is in a shout out to 5 Card Guys. This card is pretty ridiculous. It is a SP dual signatures 2001 2002 Kobe MJ, BGS 9.5, auto 10, numbered 14 out of 50. Got to figure this card goes for 6 figures. Just a fantastic card. And then last but not least, I will bring in some PC, some humble brags.
USA.
And Christian finally got my 2017 Christian Pulisic Kaboom back from HGA. Has the custom slab American flag. I think it's just an awesome looking card. This thing went raw for $9.10 last week.
Sick.
So unfortunately HGA fucked me on the corners and gave me an 8.5.
No, they didn't fuck you. They're actually doing a good job of grading cards.
Well, when it comes to my personal collection, if I don't get the higher grades, I'm going to say that they fucked me. So, unfortunately, we took an 8.5 on the corners, or else we probably would have had a 9.5 on this, but still an awesome.
You would have had a 9.5.
Yeah, still an awesome looking card. Will probably hold until either next year for the World Cup, depending if the U.S. makes it, or when 2026 rolls around, especially if Pulisic continues to play well. This thing should be worth some good bucks when the World Cup comes to the U.S.
I know a lot of people do this, but that's the type of card where I'd almost have to buy another one, because when I sell at the right time, I'm going to miss having it.
Yeah, but I
would want to.
I paid $300 for this.
Oh, I know you're gonna kill it. Next year in the World Cup, I mean, you're gonna crush what you paid on it.
Well, and that's the thing. I'd love to hold on to this, and I might, because I only paid $300 for it raw, probably 6 months ago. But buying another one now, it's gonna cost me $1,000, and that's the only thing that concerns me. So we'll see if the market dips again on him. I'll take that as an opportunity. But if he plays at any kind of level on the global stage for the United States, his stuff's going to be crazy expensive. All right. We got hot take talking basketball and what's coming up for the upcoming market. Um, I think that, even though we've started to see a little bit of a bottom get built in, especially in the base market, I think we have another downward leg to go as basketball goes into the off season. I think that we are going to see after the hype of the national, I do think that we're going to see basketball cool off a little bit more, and then we'll see buying opportunities come when the season starts. One of the indications that I'm taking from this is Devin Booker, who has played better than anybody could have ever expected. Every writer and analyst and fan is calling him like the next Kobe Bryant, and he's the best guy ever. And literally, as soon as the Bucks won Game 5 and went up 3-2, people dumped his cards like he, was some scrub. I mean, his cards went from somewhere like just his Prism base, but went from like $1,000 to less than 800 overnight.
Wow, and they're down 13 after the first quarter, so you better hop on eBay now.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, if you haven't dumped your Booker yet, you might as well hold on to it and ride it out. This thing got as high as 1,300, and that was 10 days ago. 1,300, and now last sale was 802 on yesterday. So, unfortunately for our card ladder July competition, where we have some Booker. We are going to get royally hosed on that. But, just in general, if his stuff can't stay strong, just like we saw everybody else's stuff dump after they got eliminated, Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell, I think that if you haven't bought Booker yet, or NBA in general, wait until September. That would be the time that I would look at NBA again, because I think we're going to get another downward leg, and then September people are going to be football crazy, and you should see opportunity and baseball playoffs. You'll see another opportunity for basketball right there. I think you'll see some lows as we get through the middle of August into September. There'll be buying opportunities out the wazoo.
Now, these are some pretty big swings compared to the other sports, no?
Yeah, well, I mean, basketball has the highest volatility because it has the highest,
The least amount of collectors. What?
I mean,
No, I'm serious. Out of curiosity, I would say out of and I love flippers. They're fine, but I would say out of all the sports, I think there's more. I think there's less collectors and more people just trying to make money on basketball than there are other sports.
Well, basketball also the largest global market, so you have people all over the world that are buying. So there's more. I think there's more people that are buying and selling basketball than there is any of the other sports, and I also think that there's more. Like, people aren't looking for the future. They're looking for the flip on any of the ultra modern stuff. I don't think anybody's thinking about 10 years from now. They're like, well, I got to get my money so that, I'm just going to buy and flip versus Devin Booker.
That's what I mean. It just seems to be a higher population of that going on in basketball. And that's why we're seeing some of these bigger crashes at times.
Yeah. I mean, there's just a ton, 1,300 to 800 in 9 days in the middle of the NBA finals is crazy. I mean, that's
like in 9 days in a baseball season, you have time to unload something if there's some course of events. Like 9 days is crazy to have that kind of drop.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see like Mahomes after the Super Bowl. How much his stuff may have dropped, or whether or not people held on to it.
You hitting the ladder, guy?
Yeah, I'm hitting the ladder, guy. I'm gonna see if.
Yeah, I'm actually curious now that you mentioned that. Yeah, just grab a random Mahomes 10 and go from February till now.
So this is silver. I don't know if they want the fucking base card. And they got 17 other parallels, but not the one that I want.
I'm still waiting for a Trey Turner on Card Ladder.
Send an email, guy.
Although there might have been one the other day, finally. I think it just got added.
Why don't they have the Prism base card? Is there not a 2017 Prism Mahomes base?
There should be.
Let's look at something else. We'll look at Optic PSA 10. All right, so Super Bowl was
February.
Do you remember when in February?
I for some reason February 7th is ringing a bell, but
Stat boy, get on it. Look something up for me.
Stat boy.
Let's see. Give me the last year.
Here we go. Got all the Super Bowls. Hey, look at that. February 7th, dude.
All right, so this thing peaked at $3,000 on February 1st, and then traded at $2,700 and $2,500. And then as soon as they lost, it went from $2,500 to about $2,000. About $2,000. And then
set 1,000 off its peak.
I mean, more than likely the 3,000 was probably a best offer, or buy it now type of thing. So right. 2,500 to settling into 1,800 after the season. So yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense if you're looking for Booker deals or Chris Paul or some of these other guys. I mean, especially if they lose tonight, give it 3 weeks, and you'll probably see a ton of buying opportunities. And I think that's going to go for basketball in general, with the exception of Giannis and Middleton. On the Bucks, they'll see their championship spike, and then those prices will also settle back in. But I think your Lukas and Zions and Morants and Trays and all these other guys, I think you'll see some really good buying opportunities for basketball coming up here in the middle of August. Once football gets into full steam and those products are out, basketball gets backburnered for Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson and Trey Lance and all those guys.
Mac Jones guy, Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. Fuck the Patriots and Mac Jones. All right, we got one more segment. Unfortunately, we had more injury news, not out of baseball this time around, but football. Promising young star Cam Akers ruled out for the 2021 football season. So it's another installment of Dr. Bunk. After some conversation, we're going to probably try to make this a regular segment as guys get hurt during camp or during baseball or whatever. We'll talk about how long they may be out, whether or not they're anticipating any sort of long lingering potential issues, and then some cards to look at while they're hurt, because cards always go down while guys are hurt. So first off, walk us through the injury, how long he's going to be out for, is he going to be back for the beginning of 2022, and then we'll talk about some cards that you can look at and when.
Yeah, so he ruptured his Achilles. So we got to see Kevin Durant finally come back and play this year after the same injury. I talked to you last week about Acuna, and then I'm always looking at studies and stuff. So I actually found a study that had 76 NFL players between 2010 and 2015 that tried to recover, had their Achilles tendon repaired. Only 74% of them made it back. So a quarter of them never played football again.
Wow.
And there is a across the board. Now, I didn't dig into they call it power numbers, so I'm assuming it has to do with some agilities and some Olympic lifting and that sort of thing, jumping and leaping and stuff. Across the board, there was a 22% decrease in power numbers on the ones that did make it back to the NFL. So the Achilles is definitely something to not poo-poo, especially in a running back, and the running backs were the most susceptible to not returning to the NFL or with their power numbers, that position in particular.
So he could basically, in essence, lose a step as a possibility going into next season.
Yeah, I mean, listen, 25% never play again. at the football. Now, you could say, okay, some of those guys might have been practice squad guys or just not as elite of athlete or good at condition as Cam Akers. And all that's true, 100%. I could just tell you what I know. So
Yeah.
am I not buying because of what I just told you? Not necessarily.
Yeah.
But
We'll look at
something to consider while you're looking at prices.
Yeah, we'll look at some deals. I mean, Cam Akers, one of the best running backs of 2020, on a promising up and coming team that has Super Bowl aspirations. So, we'll take some risks, especially at the prices. We're going to look at raw autos, and basically you can get a 2020 Cam Akers Prism auto for right now. They're going for between 100 and 125. Give it 2 months, those things will easily be sub 100, and you can really get some good deals. So I would look at his Prism Silver, his Prism Silver Auto, his there's 17 other colors in parallels that have an auto for him. You can look at some of his Mosaic autos. This would be the time that if in the hopes that he'll be back in full strength and playing on a powerhouse Rams team, that you can get some sick deals on his cards. But once again, I'd look at September, October, when everybody's frenzied into that new, young, shiny toy rookies, that people will forget about Cam, and you'll be able to really snag some deals on him.
Oh yeah, I'd be playing chicken with him with his cards. See how low I can wait on something. See how low something goes and try to scoop it up if that's my. Because for me, it's gonna be long because it's gonna take him 9 months to come back. But for me, it's a short flip. Like if I believe that he's gonna work hard and get himself back, and I can get a nice low dollar auto that I can turn around the second he takes the field again, I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, if you're willing to spend a couple $100 on some of these, and you can find, once again, look at raw, look at the corners, look at the centering, submit that stuff to SGC and HGA if you can get your 9.5s or 10s potentially. You should easily be looking at $200-300 cards once he steps on the field and scores his first touchdown, if people feel comfortable that he's back. So longer term plays, but at the same time, if you have the cash and can hold it, then those are some stuff that could return you 6-7 times your money pretty easily.
I think the last running back I remember that tore his Achilles was Donta Foreman. I thought of it because of our Texans conversation.
Yeah,
but I don't even think he's on the team. I think he's a free agent to the point of he's done.
Yeah, I mean, granted, don't think Donta Foreman has the same abilities as Cam.
No, agreed.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a couple guys, if you look at some of their history, like I think Willis McGahee, probably a pretty solid example as far as his abilities in college, and then he blew his Achilles, and he just.
I was watching that game live.
Yeah, he was never the same. Granted, we gotta hope.
And Frank Gore, doesn't he turn around backwards in college, didn't he?
Yes, but that's not an Achilles injury, my physical therapist friend, correct?
Oh, no, it's a knee injury. I'm just saying someone who had a devastating injury in college.
Yeah, well, Frank Gore's 850 years old, and he's still trudging out there and playing football, so. All right, we are approaching the 54-minute mark, so I think we're
long guy.
I think we're about wrapped up for today. Any other final points for this week?
No, guy, got it all off my chest.
Got it all off your chest. I'm sure we'll
until next week.
I'm
I'll
sure
bash
you'll
PSA
PSA some more, but until next time. We are finally of legal age in the Sports Card Advantage podcast, episode 18. So have a wonderful week. We'll see you at the National.